All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. A lot of Vikings news out there. We're going to go over it all. Before we get into that, thank you to Brew Pub Pizza, as always, for sponsoring the show. Look for this. Look for the new label, The Patriot.
Look at that. Proud to serve those who serve Brew Pub Pizza.
Not only are they proud, but they are proud to say that this thing is absolutely delicious. Brew Pub Pizza, you cannot go wrong with any flavor. But again, the Patriot is new. Very excited. I had it a couple nights ago. We're having it tonight. The Patriot is the way to go.
Hell yeah. So let's jump into some news here. Minnesota Vikings, obviously, we're kind of we're kind of transitioning now from free agency into full-on draft mode. So it's an exciting time of year. And some of these news relates to that. Let's start with JJ McCarthy, our quarterback, was on the Kay Adams interviewed. He's at the golf event that they had going on, and she said something about him being quarterback one, and he said, I've not been told that I haven't been told I am quarterback one yet, and I like it that way. I want to earn it. I want to earn it every single damn day, is what he said.
Well, and first off, I love the fact the way he spins that. The dude seems like he's like a 40-year-old veteran out there. The way he talks, the way he holds himself. And it was funny because at the press conference today, when Kwesi was on there, which we're going to talk about, some nuggets from that, even Kwesi said beforehand, he said to Kevin O'Connell before, he's like, do people announce quarterback one? Is that a thing? Whatever. So he's QB1. They don't need to have a press conference just for that. It's obvious he's earned it, and everybody's saying the right stuff.
Yeah, and he won't be quarterback one officially until
he's quarterback one.
This is our starting quarterback. They do that.
He's QB1.
We all know it. JJ McCarthy
we have him
knows
and Brett Rippon on the roster. He's quarterback one. He knows it. Kwesi knows it. My neighbor knows it. My mailman knows it. Everybody knows it.
Kyle, your mailman?
Absolutely, he does. He's the first one to know.
He's a good dude. Yeah, so you mentioned Kwesi's press conference, and I gotta say, Kwesi, this wasn't heated, but they were kind of coming at him with some tough questions, and this wasn't the warm and fuzzies press conference anymore. The press, I give them credit, they were kind of asking some tough questions today.
Yeah, when it comes to the last few Kwesi press conferences, it's almost, I hate to say it, but it's almost pointless to watch.
Mm-hmm.
The first couple, he was all just giddy, ready to go. Obviously, new GM, I get it. Lately, the dude doesn't give any answers. They're boring. They're grilling him, and he just gives the same response. Culture, blah 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 blah. It's like, dude, don't even do a press conference. It's pointless. I love Kwesi. His press conferences have become horrible.
Well, and they kept grilling about one thing, and it was Aaron Rodgers.
And he didn't answer. He didn't give an answer
in a row. And I was just like, ask something else. I'm like, come on. But anyway, so he was grilled about Rodgers. He said him and KLC have had plenty of talks. He basically said, the guy who has the relationship is the one who talks with the guy we're looking at, the free agent. So he basically said KLC has been the one talking to Aaron Rodgers. But he said he likes where they are right now with McCarthy. They had the team kind of just built around a young quarterback in place. So that's the way they've kind of designed this team through free agency, and going to continue to do it through the draft. So they have a plan. It's with a young quarterback. It's not with Aaron Rodgers or a veteran quarterback at the helm.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I almost blame the poor press conferences on people asking the questions, because they always try to spin it differently, thinking he's actually going to answer it. He's not going to answer it. And what it comes down to with Aaron Rodgers is, unless JJ McCarthy has a setback or he comes out and is just absolutely horrible and Rodgers is not signed, it's not even an option. If that happens, then maybe it's an option. That's all it is.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, he said basically if he's showing us signs that he's not the guy, then we would go that route. But he's basically said he's checked every single box. He's done everything we asked of him, and he's actually exceeded every single benchmark we've had. So JJ McCarthy's killing it, even with the injury. He's doing nothing to show that he's not the future moving forward here for the Vikings.
Yeah, and if something were to happen, say he gets injured again, hopefully it does not happen, Aaron Rodgers is going to be on a team anyway. So let's just squash the Aaron Rodgers stuff, and let's go to what do we got? Some draft news.
Well, before that, Kwesi was also asked about his contract. They were asking about
that was painful.
Contract. You didn't, and he's just there's only so much he can say. But basically said, yeah, my reps have been in talk with the Wolves.
Yeah, and again, there must have been at least 3 questions just saying the same thing, just rewording it. Do you think all of a sudden he's going to say, no, I want more money, or they haven't come
talk about it?
It's like, dude, ask if you're at a Kwesi press conference, what would you ask him if you had one question?
I would have asked him more about were you all in on Jonathan Allen from the start? Like, were you hoping he'd get cut? Like, what was the process of going to that?
Ask
Something
him
like
about a player. Like,
Yeah.
he's not going to answer his contract talk. I mean, that's stupid.
Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable at times. All right, let's go to some draft news. Vikings met extensively with Nebraska tight end Thomas Fedone II at the Nebraska Pro Day. Met extensively.
It sounds like a lot of teams. He seems like a guy that's all of a sudden, boom, he's on the radar for all these teams in the mid to later rounds. That's where he's projected. So it's not just the Vikings meeting with him. But you know what? You know who his NFL comparison is?
I didn't see it. I know what he brings to the table. What was his comparison?
Josh freaking Oliver was his comparison. He's a pass catcher. But is also a very good blocker. He's a big guy. He's a blocker. I mean, that makes sense. I mean,
I read the opposite. I read that he was a pass catcher, not a very good blocker. So,
well, Oliver is a pass catcher as well. He just is unfortunately too good of a blocker for them to run out there. So, watching him, I got pretty excited. Like, it's not like they throw the ball to him a ton. He's from Nebraska, good size, but when he got the ball in his hands, he got some yards. He made some tough catches, but he can block too. So I get the comparison. I get it.
I wouldn't have guessed that would have been the comparison. What was the name of that pizza again for Brew Pub? I can't quite remember. Oh, that's the Patriot.
The Patriot, plethora of flavors, just like all of Brew Pubs. Lots of matzahs, all of it. Hit them up. You'll find it. They're everywhere.
Yeah, Vikings found this guy because they invited him in for a top 30 visit. Arkansas State interior offensive lineman Jacob Beyer coming in for a top 30 visit.
Yeah, dude has like 46 career starts at center. It sounds like he's the complete opposite of a Garrett Bradbury, where he's just this kind of bruiser, intimidator, not the most athletic guy, but a ton of experience and will make defensive linemen feel pain.
Good pass protector is what I read about Jacob Beyer. So, I would
late rounder that. Again, a late rounder.
Yeah, definitely a late round prospect, but a guy. I like the fact that he's really good pass blocker. I would take that right now, especially the young quarterback. Would he get on the field year one? No. Year two? Maybe not. But a guy you can develop, and maybe he got something down the road.
Well, I like that they're doing their due diligence at center because Ryan Kelly, unfortunately, as much as we want him to play every single game, that rarely happens, and we need some sort of backup plan that is I don't know. I just don't know if he's on the roster yet.
Yeah, he's not.
I hope he is, but he might be.
He's not on the team yet, but yeah, it seems like they're looking at a lot of these guys who are late or undrafted type of prospects. Like this group they're bringing in feels like they're just preparing, like they're not going to get extra picks. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, either that or they just have done so much due diligence on these other guys that they're just, because when you look at the other guys that they brought in, even top 30s from the last handful of years, a lot of them are undrafted guys. I mean, they were the Taki Tayamis. They were the Gabriel Murphys. They were guys that were not drafted. So I think they know what they're doing. I hope so.
I'm not saying they don't. It seems like they have a very specific group they're targeting here on the top 30. A couple more here. We got rumors floating around with the Vikings potentially trading for Will Levis. Onebar, what do you think about this rumor?
That's not a rumor. That was a Bleacher Report article. I could put that rumor out if you wanted to. No way in hell. Alec Lewis even came out once he had his mailbag. They asked him. He just said no and just moved on. Like, it's not happening.
0 cents.
0 cents. 0% chance that's happening. They had their chance to get Will Levis. They didn't want him. So
every other team did too.
Trade anything for him. Yeah, every other team had a chance. Uninterested.
He did throw a beautiful bomb against the Vikings. We played them. Was that 2 years ago?
Doesn't count.
Well, it did count because it was a touchdown.
Shouldn't have counted.
Well,
stupid. I think somebody fell down.
Shouldn't have let him do it. In the last nugget here, Vikings. I mean, there's still a couple contracts that could affect us a little bit, but nothing serious. Basically, I have $26.6 million in cap space still. I don't expect any major signings, but this can carry over into next year. But plenty of room to work with if they want to sign somebody else.
Yeah. I mean, we got the draft class, but even going back to Kwesi's press conference, it sounds like they're pretty much done until after the draft, where all the comp picks are not a factor anymore. So they got a lot of money, and there's still going to be plenty of guys out there. The Asante Samuels, all these guys, and we didn't even say Tevin Jenkins. The dude signed for like $8 in Cleveland. I mean, he signed for like $3 million, and I don't even think all that's guaranteed. Like, the fact that they didn't sign him I think they're really set with their offensive line.
They love Blake Brendel more than anything.
Gray Zabel. He could be our guy. Backup center, too. You never know.
He could be. So that is your latest Vikings news brought to you by Brew Pub Pizza. Get yourself the Patriot. Look at that thing right there. Onebar. You remember where you were on March 26, 2001?
Yeah, I was at the local Super One browsing the aisles for a Brew Pub Pizza.
Well, this happened that day. WWE Chairman Vince McMahon bought his rival WCW.
I knew it.